most wonderful time of the year. It's time to roast the Academy Awards. Heyo, it's Oishi, welcome back. The 93rd Academy Awards took place on Sunday, April 25th, and I watched them because I have nothing better to do, apparently. Like I did with my Golden Globes video, I thought, let's go through all of the winners and talk about them, see if I agree with them, see if I don't, and just have a good time roasting an award show that really shouldn't matter but yet somehow still does. I say that being a person who is embarrassingly invested in these awards. Like, so embarrassingly invested. Okay, so here is our article, courtesy of The Guardian. All of our winners listed here. Let's take a look, shall we? First winner we have is Best Original Screenplay, which went to Promising Young Woman. This, I'm not that mad about. I genuinely thought it was going to go to The Trial of the Chicago 7 because it's Aaron Sorkin, and I didn't really want it to go to Chicago 7 because I don't really understand how it's original. Like, aren't they based off of transcripts from court? I thought it was going to go to Chicago 7, and I'm kind of glad it didn't. I'm kind of glad that it went to Promising Young Woman because that script was so incredibly intelligently written, and I think Emerald Fennell did a fantastic job. It was also really nice to see a woman win a writing award after, like, 13 years, I want to say. I think the last one was won by Juno, so yeah, I really liked this, and I think, who else would I have maybe given it to? I feel like after Promising Young Woman, it would have been Judas and the Black Messiah, and then maybe Benari. Yeah, but I'm happy with Promising Young Woman as the winner, so let's move on. Best Adapted Screenplay goes to The Father. Once again, I'm kind of perfectly okay with this, because when I watched The Father for the first time, I was in awe of everything that I was watching because it's genuinely such a feat, and all of that starts with the script, so I am 100% okay with this. Who else would I maybe have given it to? I didn't watch Borat subsequent movie film, and I never will, because I cannot handle the secondhand embarrassment that I get from Borat. It's just not a thing. One Night in Miami was fantastic, so was The White Tiger. Yeah, I think honestly the strongest one is The Father, so congrats. Best International Feature Film, I feel like this one was very obviously going to go to Another Round. Another Round is unfortunately the only one out of these nominees that I've seen. I'm totally okay with it winning. I feel like that's what a lot of this video is going to be, because for once I actually think the Academy Awards kind of like didn't flub it up. Like, they didn't mess up a lot. They did mess up one very big thing, and we will talk about that, but I think a lot of these winners that we're going to talk about are actually very well deserving, and I'm pretty much okay with a lot of them. So, Best Actor in a Supporting Role, 100% Daniel Kaluuya. It could be nobody else. I genuinely don't think this could have gone to anybody other than Daniel Kaluuya. That was one of the best performances I've seen all year, and he definitely deserved this. So I love that we can now say Academy Award winner Daniel Kaluuya. I think if I was going to give it to anyone else, it would be kind of a three-way tie between Leslie, Paul, and Lakeith. Maybe Paul is just like slightly above. I'm happy for Daniel, and I'm glad that he got that. Best Makeup and Hairstyling, and I guess we'll do Best Costume Design with that because it went to the same movie, which was Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. And again, I 100% agree with this. The makeup and hair and costume in Ma Rainey's were truly beautiful and astounding. Like, watching it made me feel like I was genuinely there with them because of how real everything seemed. I think they deserved the Oscar for makeup and hairstyling just for the sweat makeup alone because, wow, it was so natural and so real. I think the biggest competitor for Ma Rainey for costume was probably Mank. I would probably say Emma, but I don't know. I feel like Mank had a bigger claim on it, but I am so glad that it went to Ma Rainey's. You're gonna see me be really, really biased against Mank in this video, and probably also against Chicago 7. They're not bad movies. It's just I didn't personally love them. Best Director went to Chloe Zhao for Nomadland, which I am so unbelievably happy about. This is so monumental. Chloe Zhao is the second woman ever to win Best Director, and she's the first woman of color to ever win Best Director, which is insane to me that we are in year 93 and she is only the second person, because Nomadland was actually so beautifully, expertly directed, and I'm so happy for her. She deserves all the love in the world, and I really want to see the other stuff that she has done in the past. I know she's going to be directing The Eternals, I believe, for Marvel, which I'm super excited about that too. Girl, get your coin, okay? Cannot wait for the Taika Waititi, Chloe Zhao Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's gonna be fantastic. Best Sound. And once again, I feel like the only movie that could have gotten this is Sound of Metal. It was kind of funny because Riz Ahmed presented this award, so he was essentially just giving his own movie an Oscar, which is so fun to me. This is where things get a little bit embarrassing because I haven't seen a lot of these. But Best Live Action Short Film, I actually haven't seen a single one of them, which is so sad. I know I should do better. I should do my due diligence and try and watch more short film. Best Animated Short Film went to If Anything Happens, I Love You. I did watch this one and I cried the entire time. It's absolutely gorgeous, absolutely heartbreaking, and I am 100% in agreement with this award, even though I haven't seen the other four. Best Animated Feature Film, which could go to nothing else other than Soul. I actually watched all of the animated films this year, and Soul is just so far above everything else. And that's not to say I hated everything else, because I didn't. Wolfwalkers was absolutely amazing. I liked Onward well enough, and Over the Moon. Shaun the Sheep, could have done without it, but that's just me. If you liked Shaun the Sheep, I love that for you. But yeah, I personally don't really know why it's here. Out of the four, I think, again, Soul was the clear winner. It's a beautiful film that is great for both kids, because, again, it's an animated movie, it's for kids, but it's also fantastic for adults, because it really just talks about what is the meaning of life. How do we just go through life being humans? Like, how do we exist as people? Next up, we have Best Documentary Short, and I didn't see a single one of these either. I'm sorry. But the winner is Colette, which sounds really interesting. I feel like I never really get around to watching the short films or the documentary shorts, even though I really, really like to. I feel like sometimes they get pushed to the side, and I want to try and rectify that in the future. Congrats to Colette. Next up, we have Best Documentary. Now, I watched 3 out of the 5. I watched Collective, Crip Camp, and My Octopus Teacher. And I don't know how I feel about My Octopus Teacher winning, for a couple of reasons. One, I feel like out of the 3 that I watched, the one I enjoyed the most was Collective. I think Collective was a fantastic documentary. It was thrilling, it was informative, and it really shed light on an issue that probably not a lot of people knew about. Crip Camp was also fantastic, again, for the same reasons that Collective was, but I think I just enjoyed Collective a little bit more just because of how it was structured and the way it was presented. My Octopus Teacher I also enjoyed, but definitely not as much as Collective and Crip Camp. The thing that My Octopus Teacher has going for it is the cute factor, because it's like a human bonding with an octopus. How is that not fantastic? I think out of the 3 of the ones that I watched, the one that I would want to win was Collective. The second reason why I'm a little bit iffy with My Octopus Teacher winning is because they didn't thank the octopus. They didn't thank the octopus. Yeah, you know, the octopus on which the documentary was made. They didn't thank her. Y'all wouldn't have a documentary without the octopus. You wouldn't have an Oscar without the octopus. Thank the octopus. That's all I want. Just thank the damn octopus. The disrespect. Okay, Best Visual Effects went to Tenet, and once again, I feel like this one was kind of an open and shut case. Out of the 5 of them, I think Tenet was probably the strongest. They definitely had fun crashing that plane, and it paid off, because now you have an Oscar. And if Tenet was gonna win anything, I would give it visual effects. I definitely would not give it sound design. Best Actress in a Supporting Role went to Yoon Yoo-jung from Minari, and I 100% agree. I could not agree harder. This is the one award that I really wanted. This and Daniel Kaluuya. I should say that I haven't seen Maria Bakalova and I haven't seen Glenn Close, but I'm sure they did great. But Yoon Yoo-jung, if you are standing in a room next to Yoon Yoo-jung, you will immediately be inferior, okay? I just want to give a very big congratulations to Brad Pitt for getting to present this to the legend that is Yoon Yoo-jung. I'm pretty sure that was like a life moment for him to be in her presence. I love how Yoon Yoo-jung is kind of just along for the ride. She just takes the awards, thanks people with a little bit of shade thrown in there, and then goes along her merry way, and I think that is absolutely fantastic. But she doesn't deserve this award just because she's an absolute icon. She also deserves it because she was genuinely incredible in Minari. She was one of my favorite performances of the year. I can't stop gushing about her. And I think she is my grandmother now. I think she's the world's grandmother, and I think we should all just bow down to our grandmother. I'm just so happy. This is all I wanted. Daniel Kaluuya and Yoon Yoo-jung for their respective acting categories, and Chloe Zhao for directing. That's literally all I was watching for. Best production design, it goes to Mank. I was kind of expecting it to go to Mank or Ma Rainey's, but in the end it was Mank. Again, I don't really care. I will say that the production design in Mank was very pretty and probably did deserve an Oscar. I don't know the most about production design. I just see pretty things and I go, ooh, I like that. That's really it. Best cinematography also went to Mank. I kind of wish it went to Nomadland, because wow, is Nomadland so unbelievably beautiful. It takes a talent to be able to capture the tenderness and beauty in the world around you the way that Nomadland did, without us actually getting to be there. It's literally just us seeing it, but you can feel all of those emotions with just the way that it's filmed. And I think that it was kind of a shame that Nomadland didn't win. Best film editing goes to Sound of Metal, which I was actually thinking that it was gonna go to Chicago 7, because once again, I think the editing in that film was one of the best parts, but I am over the moon that it went to Sound of Metal, because again, Sound of Metal is edited to perfection, and I can't believe how amazing Sound of Metal is. This is really just a PSA to watch everything on the Best Picture list except Mank and Trial of Chicago 7. Best Original Score goes to Soul, and you know what? I like this. I like this a lot. Soul did in fact have a beautiful, beautiful score. I loved it so much. I would say that my second place would be Minari. The only thing I haven't seen from here is News of the World. But yeah, my second place would be Minari because Emile Mosseri's score was absolutely gorgeous. There's only so many ways for me to say beautiful, gorgeous, amazing. I'm just using the same adjectives over and over again, but you get the point. Such a big part of Minari's atmosphere was the score. The cinematography and the score combined was made for something so incredible. And if Soul was not in the running, I would definitely give it to Minari. Best Original Song goes to Fight For You from Judas and the Black Messiah by Her. I like this song well enough. I think it's one of my favorites. I would say that my favorite was Speak Now by Leslie Odom Jr. from One Night in Miami, and I was really, really hoping that he was gonna get it, but I am perfectly fine with her getting it as well because Fight For You is amazing, she's amazing, and yeah, that's really all I have to say. I just wanted Leslie to be that one step closer to becoming an EGOT, but I think Her is now one step closer to becoming an EGOT, so it's a win-win situation in the end. Alright, the big boy. Best Picture goes to Nomadland, and I pretty much saw this coming. I feel like if you've been keeping up with the awards season cycle this year, then you would know that Nomadland has been getting a lot of praise and a lot of these Best Picture awards, so yeah, I was pretty much expecting Nomadland to get it. It was par for the course. And I'm not mad about that because I absolutely loved Nomadland and I think it 100% deserves this award. Speaking of Best Picture, if you want to see my rankings for them, that video will be linked in the iCard and in the description down below for you to check it out to see what I would have liked to win other than Nomadland. My top 3, if you will. There is some weirdness surrounding the way that Best Picture was presented, actually the way that the last 3 awards were presented, and I will talk about that after we talk about the awards themselves. I'm perfectly okay with Nomadland. I love that Chloe Zhao got 2 Oscars in one night. Epic, amazing, fantastic. It's like Bong Joon-ho getting 4 Oscars in one night. That's just... how can you beat that? How can you top that? Wow, 2020 Oscars was really something, solely because of Parasite. Best Actress in a Leading Role goes to Frances McDormand from Nomadland. Again, I don't have much to say about this. I loved her performance and I thought she was very deserving. I honestly think that everybody here was very, very deserving. So I think after Frances McDormand, my pick would be Carey Mulligan and Viola Davis, like kind of together. But yeah, it went to Frances and I'm happy for her. That's like her 3rd Oscar now, so no, 4th, because she also was credited as a producer, so she got Best Picture as well. So yay, we'd love to see it for you. Okay, let's talk about Best Actor. This one was weird for reasons. So Best Actor was given to Anthony Hopkins, and I want to talk about the end of the show. That's like the big thing that happened this year, the big weird flub that happened. So Best Picture is normally awarded at the very end of the show. It's the last award that goes out because it's the biggest award of the night. It's literally the best movie of the year, so of course it's the last one. But this year, they moved it up. They moved it to be 3rd last so that both the Best Actress in a Leading Role and Best Actor in a Leading Role could come after it. Now, when we got to Best Picture being handed out and we still hadn't gotten the main acting awards, that immediately put in people's minds that, oh, okay, Chadwick Boseman is gonna win Best Actor, because that's why they put it at the end. That was the only logical explanation for the acting awards to be given out after Best Picture, because if Chadwick Boseman won, then it would be a very sweet moment for his family to be able to accept, for them to speak about him, and for us to be able to just sit and remember him and remember his legacy. It would have been a very sweet, powerful moment, and a good way to end out the show as a little tribute to Chadwick Boseman, right? But then that didn't happen. Chadwick actually didn't win, Anthony Hopkins won. And the thing is that Anthony Hopkins didn't attend the show. He was not there live, which meant that Joaquin Phoenix had to sort of awkwardly just be like, okay, the Academy accepts on Anthony Hopkins' behalf, okay, peace, bye, good night. And then that was it. That was the show. It was over. And everybody was kind of like, huh? What just happened? So let's dissect this. First and foremost, I think Anthony Hopkins winning is fine. This is obviously, none of this is his fault. He did a fantastic job in The Father, and it was definitely an Oscar-worthy performance, and the fact that he won is perfect. That's amazing. That's great for him, and I'm so happy that he won, especially all these years after. Like, he didn't expect himself to win this award. He didn't even attend, so it was obviously a very huge shock to him. I'm happy that he got this award. So none of this blame is on him. He's just a sweet man who made me cry in The Father, okay? The thing that is wrong about this whole thing is the way that it was presented. Like I said, moving the acting awards to the end of the show puts in every single person's mind the idea that Chadwick Boseman is gonna win, because why else would you move it? So everybody is expecting Joaquin Phoenix to say Chadwick Boseman, and then he doesn't, he says Anthony Hopkins, which would have been fine on its own had Anthony Hopkins been there to accept. Because he wasn't, we were just left with this very hastily wrapped up show, and we had this like blue balls all together. There's a couple options of what could have happened here. Number one is that the producers actually thought that Chadwick was gonna win. I don't entirely know if I believe this, because I think that the producers would know who was going to win, right? If you're producing this show, you would probably want to know who your winners are just in case something goes wrong, a la 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 Land, Moonlight debacle. They figured out something went wrong and they fixed it, because they knew who won. They knew that something was not right here. It's just hard for me to believe that producers of a show don't know what's going on at their own show. It's hard for me to believe that nobody knows the winners beforehand. So if the producers did in fact know that Chadwick Boseman was everybody's pick for this, that everybody thought that Chadwick Boseman was going to be winning this because he'd been winning all of the other awards, and so it seemed like the natural progression for him to also get the Oscar, if they knew that, and then they also knew that that's not actually what's going to happen. Anthony Hopkins is actually going to win. And they still moved the acting awards to the end, giving people the impression that Chadwick definitely had this in the bag, and then not doing that. Trash. Because I'm sure a big part of why people were watching that late is because they really thought that Chadwick was going to get this award. They really wanted to see Chadwick get this, and so moving the awards keeps people watching, keeps those ratings going up. Trash. If this is true, the most trash, because you're essentially exploiting this person to drive up your ratings, which, honestly, are we surprised? Again, I want to make it very clear that I don't hate Anthony Hopkins. He clearly did not choose this, and he genuinely delivered a fantastic performance in The Father. I think I personally would have liked to see Chadwick get this because, once again, his performance in Ma Rainey's was absolutely amazing. But, I mean, if they're gonna give it to Anthony Hopkins, that's fine too. But, like, the audacity of moving the last two awards to make people think one thing is gonna happen and then completely messing it up and doing something else entirely? Yeah, no. I don't get why they moved it. I feel like the smartest decision would have been to keep it in the same order. To do Best Actress, Best Actor, Best Picture. Because that way, if Chadwick Boseman does win, it's close enough to the end of the show that we can still have that very powerful moment and have it stick with us until the end of the show. And if he doesn't win and Anthony Hopkins wins, then it's less awkward because Joaquin Phoenix, you know, he'll accept the award for his behalf, but that's not like the end of the show. There's still one big, very satisfying award at the end to round it out in a fuller way. The Best Picture win for Nomadland could have finished off the show on a positive note. And instead we got this big awkward mess where the show ended before we even realized the show was ending. I don't know, that's really all I have to say about it. Overall, I think this year's Oscars were actually weirdly kind of decent. I agreed with a lot of the nominees and a lot of the winners, and I think for a show that's trying to take place during the pandemic with all of these restrictions, I think this was among the best that we could have got. The winners were all pretty much well-deserved. It was just that they flubbed the ending so hard, and if they'd just stuck the landing, then I think this could have been an actually very decent year at the Oscars. And instead of being very decent, it's just like on the lower end of decent. Because as much as I loved all the winners, the thing that's gonna stick with you is that big oopsie at the end. Okay, I'm done. Those were my 2021 Academy Awards hot takes. Take 'em or leave 'em. And I can't wait to do this next year. Can't wait to see how they mess it up next year. If you like this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. Comment down below, let me know what you thought of all the winners. How confused were you at the ending of that show? If you enjoyed this sort of stuff and you want to see more of it from me, please make sure to hit that subscribe button because I make new videos every Friday. And sometimes when big things happen in the world of film, you get a bonus one, like this one. I'm also on platforms, so if you want to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Goodreads, and Letterboxd, those links will be in the description down below. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!